Greetings, everyone. Now, you may not believe it, but I have not always been the all-powerful space goddess I am. No, in fact, I started off as just a mere mortal like you. And it is through the power of drag that I have built myself into what I am now. And so, I would like to share with you all the tale on how I became a drag entity. Back when I was a mere university student, I saw my first ever drag shows at the pub on campus. After watching these performers express themselves through the art of drag, I knew it was something that I wanted to do for myself, and so I created a little playlist of songs that I would like to perform to. But in its usual fashion, life's violent tempo picked up, and the idea was sort of relegated to the back of my mind for several months. That is until the end of last term, when one of my friends and drag kings, I'll be on top, let me know that there was going to be an amateur hour show at my school for new drag performers, and I knew it would be the perfect opportunity to get to try drag out for the first time. In early December, the show was officially announced, and I had to begin my application to try to see if I could get into drag. So just recently, I saw an Instagram post from our school's drag account, and they were basically saying that there was like an open show for beginners that they were planning in January, and the deadline is fast approaching to apply. So I was like, well, this is the time if I want to try to get into drag. This is a really good motivator. So I need to figure out exactly what I'm doing between now and the 9th. It's the 1st right now, so I have 8 days to submit my application. I'm at a point in my drag journey, as it were, that I think I've come up with my drag name, which is Edna Plasmic, a sort of a play on words for the endoplasmic reticulum, which is a part of the cell. Because as a biology nerd, I knew I needed something that was just a play on words, something biology related, something like sciencey. So I came up with a bunch of other really dumb ones that I did not go with. These were actually all inspired by a story post a friend sent me on an Instagram account. So anyways, here are some really dumb names that I came up with in the process of trying to find one. So we have lithium, anti-gen, carcinogenic, gal, bladder, cerebellum, and I think for one of my personal favorite honorable mentions is phosphorus prosperous, which, as my boyfriend pointed out, sounds like it would be the name of some sort of just a Roman senator. Ah yes, phosphorus prosperous. So yeah, I'm going with Edna Plasmic. I think it sounds fun. Has sort of like a spacey vibe to it in a way, even though it's meant to be like a cell biology thing. Also a fun part, Edna. I like that because it's has the same letters as eDNA, which is environmental DNA, which is just kind of like DNA from the environment that sometimes your geneticists and ecologists like to use to analyze things. So that's an Edna, which is kind of fun. Just a little tidbit for you bio nerds out there. After coming up with the name Edna Plasmic, I then created an Instagram account, and thankfully the handle had not been taken yet, because in this day and age, it's quite rare to find that. Now, I should make it abundantly clear that drag is not simply limited to expressions of femininity put on by men, your typical drag queens. There is a vast array of drag performances, including the underrepresented drag kings, as well as other forms of non-binary drag. As a non-binary person myself, I chose to go with the title of drag entity, as even though I am putting on a performance of femininity and could probably call myself a drag queen, I just liked the term entity a little more. It sounded kind of fun and spacey and even a little spooky with some little eldritch vibes, which I liked. I feel like I have more wiggle room to sort of push my drag performance in whatever direction I want. Part of what makes drag so beautiful is how gender and gender norms can be broken down into all these bits and pieces and thrown about into performances to show how the way we sort of define these things is incredibly arbitrary and doesn't really exist all that much if we think about it. Music. For the music, I wanted something really upbeat and power poppy that you could just sort of jump around to, and coincidentally, I was listening to MARINA's latest album at work and the first song off of it, Ancient Dreams in a Modern Land, was so perfect, and I picked it. Makeup. This was by far the most intimidating aspect of drag to me. Prior to drag, I had never had any experience putting makeup on myself, and the whole concept was very frightening to me. Thankfully, my epic and sexy boyfriend, who is well versed in the art of makeup, created a lovely reference document for me detailing all sorts of products and their applications and the steps that you need to put them in order to create a cohesive makeup look. For my look, I wanted to go with something sort of spacey, and thankfully Pinterest and Google Images are very helpful resources. So after going shopping for a bunch of products that I had no idea what they were at the time, my boyfriend sort of put all my makeup on to give me a test drive of what it could look like, and we took some fun promotional photos. Now, unfortunately for me, I can't have my boyfriend put on my makeup every time I want to do drag, and so I had to learn how to put it on myself. Okay, so now I'm gonna try doing makeup. I've never done it before on myself, just by myself. It's a little scary if I'm being honest. It's really expensive and I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just gonna watch a bunch of YouTube tutorials and try some things out. Ooh, is this now the part where I put the eyeshadow on? Yeah. No, this is now the part I'm gonna watch the space girl. The drugstore space cowgirl galaxy makeup tutorial. How do I do this? I know what I need to do, I just can't like hold the pen. Like, how do you hold the pen? I didn't do a great job with the eyeliner, and I still can't today, but I had a really fun time putting on all the eyeshadow and everything. It felt like I was painting, but just on my face. But for my first time ever putting on makeup, I was really happy with how the look turned out. I also got some excellent feedback from LB on Top, and they told me that my look should be a little more bold, as I am there to draw people's attention and be as obnoxious as possible. So it's important to sort of exaggerate your makeup look if you want to be seen. They also stress the importance of making your eyes especially visible, which is a little challenge for me because the eye makeup was sort of the ones that I sucked at the most, but I guess an incentive to get better. Costume. For my look, I knew I wanted to just be kind of cute and spacey, and I had this lovely green top that I figured I would use, as well as some fishnets. So to complete the rest of the look, I just hit the thrift store. Okay, so I went thrift shopping to get some cool things for drag. Anyways, here's what I got. Some fun little space shorts. They might be too big for me. I guess I'll try them on. If they're too big for me, maybe I'll keep them. Maybe I'll cut them up and use them for the material because the pattern is pretty cool. Okay, so this thing's a little big, a little loose. I do not want to lift my shirt up. I will be showing my underwear. Wouldn't want to do that. Upon consultation with my guide, I guess I could just scrunch this up and it could just kind of work like this. Woo! Look at that. I like it. That's epic. Next up, we got these fun boots. it's honestly, I'm impressed. I found boots that were in my size. It's not very common that you find boots that fit someone with a foot size of 11.5 or larger. Yeah, they're a little pricey. They're like $35, so I may try to wear them for the show and then exchange them the following week, because I have 14 days to exchange them for other items, so we'll see about doing that. Okay, yeah, here are the boots. Choreography. Now, us amateur hour performers have been recommended by some of the more experienced drag performers to attend dance classes, but I just kind of ignored that and went with my tried and tested art of dancing, which is flailing my poor body around into various crooked shapes. Here, once again, I was given advice from I'll Be On Top that you don't always need to choreograph every single last minute. In fact, it's quite useful to have a lot of wiggle room in your performance. That way you can collect tip money from the audience, as well as just interact with them a little more, so the performance is overall a lot more memorable and enjoyable. So to plan my choreography, I just sort of played the song out loud and danced around my room until it felt right. So now that I had all the elements of my drag show in place, it was just a matter of time before the big day. The night before the performance, I stayed over at my parents' place in my old childhood bedroom because I had work on the other side of town from where I live, and so it was just more convenient for me to drive to work and then to campus so I could get to the drag show in time, and also because I love my family dearly. So I used this time to just sort of practice my choreo a few final times and to paint my nails. The night of. So after work, I jumped in my parents' minivan, the green reflective end magnet indicating my new driver status shining in the setting sun as I took down the road, obeying the speed limit all the way to campus. So when I got back home, my boyfriend decided to put on my foundation and primer, and he also made these cute little space buns before he had to quickly run off himself so we could get to the performance in time. And so I did the rest of my makeup all by myself, with the voice of I'll Be On Top echoing in my head to just make the eyes more visible and to always put on more makeup than you think is necessary. And I'm really happy with how the eyeliner turned out for once. So after that, I had to run to the pub across campus in full drag, and after one of the performances, I was escorted into the back room. And then in the back room, I got to meet a bunch of the other performers. We had a wonderful time just chatting and bonding. I got to watch some of the other shows as well as just an audience member, and they were all so incredible. And then finally, I got to perform myself. The future. So after a successful drag performance, I really want to continue on with drag. This is something that I really want to do a lot more. I'm trying to get better at my makeup skills. The eye makeup is still a little flimsy. I'm trying to get better at my eyeliner, but I think that's just a practice thing. I would like to give such a huge thank you to both I'll Be On Top and my boyfriend for just helping me out so much with everything. I legitimately could not have done this without you two. I've learned so much from both of you regarding just makeup as well as just drag in general. I would also like to give a huge shout out to all the other performers at the Amateur Hour show. They were just all absolutely incredible, so amazing, just so much talent. It was so much fun. And I hope you all continue on doing drag. You were all so amazing. I would like to thank you all so much for watching. And if any of you want to become an obnoxious gender god, then I would highly recommend you check out drag. How does it tibby to be a tibby in a tibby field? When you tibby, tibby. Tibby is a tibby until you're tibby in a tibby field. The power of drag.